Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at JN Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. JN Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.
Well, it's that time of the morning, that time for the program, Your Goals Realized. And the friendly face I see from JN Fund Managers this morning is none other than Dolores Jones. Dolores, how are you doing?
Good morning, Nadine.
It's been a few weeks. We've seen you, so I know you're all prepped and ready to jump back in and give us something interesting in it.
Absolutely, Nadine. And good morning to my Love 101 family. I missed you. And in fact, Nadine, I really missed you too. But Haley and Peter Gay held the fort well.
They did well.
They did a great
you.
job, just as they always do. But there is nothing like the thrill I get from being on this program. Up front, close and personal with my Love 101 listeners.
Awesome.
We have been keeping our commitment for 2016 to keep the program on track by looking closely at the options for a strong, dynamic portfolio. We know now that even more than ever, the investors who want to achieve their goals cannot drop their funds in an account and leave it there to earn income for them. They have to make the funds work for them just as hard as they worked for those funds.
All right. So, and that's very true too. You know, the investors that I know want income to be earned from their funds, but they also want safety and they want security. So what are their options? So is it possible?
Absolutely. Those are reasonable expectations, Nadine. And they are the same expectations for persons all over the world who invest. Safety and security are always a huge important factor for investor who wants to work hard for their funds anyway and invest it without sufficient care and due diligence. So that's why it's important for each investor to understand, first of all, his own circumstances. Next, the environment in which we are investing. And thirdly, the best mix of assets to ensure that we have that winning portfolio. So we return to the subject of equities, stocks. What are stocks? Who is it right for? Usually, I'd say everyone, but let's discuss that more.
Okay.
By now, listeners would have heard me say pretty often that ideally, each investor needs to have more than a single asset class as an option for a strong portfolio. It's all about the right mix of assets and in the right quantities. This morning, we want to look at what are stocks, what are the different type of stocks, what guide the quantities of stocks that we should consider for a portfolio, which stocks have the quality that we seek as we build and align our portfolio to the change in tolerance of risk, or age, or time horizon, etc. So every portfolio needs to ensure growth. So I talk equities to everybody that I talk to. Importantly, though, the JNFM advisory team listens carefully to our clients, after which we determine the ideal portfolio mix and we narrow or widen the options and then the options within the options. So let's begin. What are stocks? Stocks or shares is ownership interest in a company. When you buy or receive shares in a company, you become a part owner of that company. The more shares you have in relation to the total number of shares issued by a company, the more ownership you have in that company. Persons who own shares in company are referred to collectively as shareholders or stockholders. Companies may also be authorized to issue more than one class of common shares, some of which may not have voting rights. People buy stocks for different reasons. However, the primary reason is to get the best return on their investment, whether over the long, short, or medium term. As a rule, though, Nadine, it is wise to regard shares as a long-term investment. That's buying of shares.
Right.
Persons tend to gain in two ways from buying shares. One, the stock has the potential of seeing capital gains. This is where the price of the stock appreciates above the value or the amount you pay for the stock at that time.
Okay.
So, for example, you bought a stock for $10. You see the price of that stock going up to sometime $11, $12, $13. That's where you see capital appreciation. You only get that though when you sell the shares. So all of this will be unrealized gain until you sell the shares.
Okay.
Secondly, there is the option of dividend gain. This is where the company that you own stock in has decided to distribute a portion of its earnings to person on record as owning the shares at the declared dividend date. But stocks must never be purchased in isolation, though, Nadine.
Okay.
As with most investment, there is a level of risk involved. Investing in stocks usually carries a higher risk than most other investment. And even with capital gain, there are times when you will see that stock, the price of that stock, going lower than the amount of money that you pay for that stock. So it's important that you speak with a financial advisor who, along with you, will look at your entire investment profile, your risk appetite, your time horizon, etc. And after doing that, choose the type of stocks to be included in your portfolio, which matches your goal, which matches your risk appetite, and which will help you to actually achieve the goals that you plan to achieve. And usually, Nadine, persons with time on their hands, that's persons that are younger and persons with a longer time horizon, and the requisite risk appetite, have time to really look at the market to really rebound. So they are investors who usually tend to put a larger portion of their investment in stocks.
Okay.
So in essence, it is important that as investors that you get guidance. Buying stocks is important. As we know, last year Jamaica's stock market was the number one, and persons who bought stocks would have seen sometimes 100%. That doesn't mean that you can use last year's performance to say that this is what will happen. You have to sit with an advisor and you have to look at the fundamentals of each of these companies, your own circumstances, and then you decide if and how much equities will you put in that portfolio.
Okay. And of course, JN fund managers are there to give guidance and make suggestions.
Absolutely.
Indeed. All right. Okay. I like that. And it's this is why JNFM takes the portfolio approach. Yeah.
Absolutely.
To investing rather than just going out and selling products, eh?
We do, Nadine. Our clients are everything, and we do our clients a disservice if we did otherwise. We construct and we manage portfolio. We give follow-up service, we build relationships, and we add value.
Good.
The client's welfare is always at the core of JN Fund Managers. And as Haley mentioned last week, we speak in the language that you speak in, and we ensure that you're comfortable with what you are doing and that you understand where your portfolio and your dreams are headed.
Okay.
And that's why we're here on Tuesday mornings. We listen to our clients, and they told us that they wanted to learn more about investing and how to achieve their goals.
Awesome. Always a pleasure indeed having you share with us, Dolores, and sharing the information that our listeners want to know.
Good, Nadine. And for persons who joined us late and wish to hear this program again, please email us at jnfundmanagers.com. Our text number also is 504-1719. That's 504-1719. And today's program will be uploaded to our Facebook page and on YouTube later on today.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing today, Dolores. And thank you, our listeners, for making it Love 101 and for making it your goals realized. Join us again next week for another program in the series. Thank you.
Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at JN Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. JN Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.